The night Yulong and Yang Meimei reminded the world why love still matters. There are moments that need no words, no fireworks, yet they make the whole world pause. That was the night. The gala was meant to celebrate success, a stage of dazzling lights, rehearsed speeches, and orchestrated elegance. But when Yulong and Yang Meimei entered the room together, something shifted. The air grew softer, quieter, as if the world itself tilted ever so slightly towards something tender and real. There was no performance, no grand gesture. Just a glance, a small laugh, a breath released like the end of a long-held tension. For years, they had been the subjects of other people's stories, reshaped by gossip, edited by tabloids, twisted by public imagination. But that night, they stood together not as celebrities, but as two people learning how to re-enter the same space after a long separation. Silence more beautiful than applause. Yang Meimei's gown rippled under the light like liquid starlight. Yulong's eyes, usually cool, composed, softened in a way no camera could direct. There were no declarations, no flashing headlines. Just a small accident, Meimei's heel catching on the carpet, and Yulong instinctively reaching out. That gentle act stilled the entire room. A hand offered. A smile returned. And something real began. After that came a series of quiet gestures, his hand resting lightly at her waist as cameras clicked, a whispered joke that made her laugh, their gaze holding for just a heartbeat longer than it should. Critics would later call it chemistry. Fans who had believed in them for years called it homecoming. Because sometimes love doesn't need to be performed, it just needs to exist. When the air changed, inside the ballroom, the shift was almost physical. The music softened, the lighting dimmed to something more intimate. The crowd hushed, not from command, but from instinct. There was no announcement, no speech. Just truth, revealed in fragments. Yulong adjusting the cuff of her sleeve, Meimei leaning her head gently against his shoulder, the two of them sharing a cup of tea backstage under the glow of a single lamp. These weren't scenes of spectacle. They were acts of repair, the quiet, unglamorous labor of love rebuilt under public eyes. The internet's most unexpected reaction: silence. When footage of that night spread across the internet the next morning, what followed wasn't frenzy, it was empathy. For the first time in years, social media chose gentleness. Fans didn't debate, they reflected. People wrote about forgiveness, about second chances, about the courage to love again. Hashtags like Protect Yulong Meimei and Let Love Breathe appeared not as slogans, but as collective pledges. Even journalists known for sensationalism hesitated. One photographer confessed, "I couldn't lift my camera." It felt sacred. Within the industry, that night began to be called the quiet event that redefined emotion. Behind the lights, love built from small things. Close friends later revealed that before the gala, the couple had spent a sleepless night talking. They admitted fear of the media, of misinterpretation, of history repeating itself. But by dawn, they had written down a list of small promises: to rest more, to never let silence become distance, and to never explain their love through social media. The gala wasn't a beginning, it was the visible result of 100 unseen decisions. Afterward, Yulong and Meimei declined every talk show hungry for drama. They only agreed to interviews about art, craft, and personal growth. Quietly, they co-funded a mental health foundation for young performers, refusing to attach their names. "We just want the results to matter more than the noise," Yulong said. Their way of loving forced the entertainment world to pause, to ask if sincerity could still trend. Love as steadiness, not spectacle. Months passed. The public's excitement mellowed into quiet respect. People grew used to seeing them in simple settings, in cafes, bookstores, or walking side by side in the city, dressed plainly. And strangely, those ordinary sightings became the most powerful proof of all. Love doesn't need an audience. It survives in consistency, not in headlines. In a rare interview, Meimei said softly, "That night, we stopped protecting ourselves from the people who love us and started protecting each other." Yulong added, "We chose care over image." Maybe it's not perfect, but it's real. Those two sentences became the summary of everything that mattered. Love isn't magic, it's a choice. One that must be made again, every single day. Epilogue: the legacy of a quiet love. Time has passed, yet the echo of that night still lingers, not as a memory of glamour, but as a quiet shift in how an entire industry began to see love. The relationship between Yulong and Yang Meimei became a rare emblem of sincerity, unmarketed, unfiltered, unbroken by noise. They never claimed to be role models, yet their actions redefined what authenticity could mean in a world addicted to performance. The phenomenon was soon called the Yulong-Meimei effect. Producers began rethinking how on-screen chemistry was manufactured. Films started favoring gentleness over spectacle. Journalists, once obsessed with breakups and betrayal, began writing about endurance instead of drama. Across the internet, thousands wrote letters to fan pages, stories of reconciliation, of calling old friends, of daring to be vulnerable again. One message went viral. "I watched them smile at each other and called my mother." That was the true legacy, not in the footage, but in the way their love made strangers kinder. Amid the industry's constant roar, they continued to choose quiet. No interviews. No campaigns. Just two people occasionally spotted reading together at a small cafe or sharing an umbrella on a rainy street. A fan once described them simply. They didn't look like stars. They looked like people who were at peace. Perhaps that's what captivated the world most of all. 2 years later, when asked about their romantic legacy, Yulong laughed softly. "Legacy is a loud word," he said. "We're just continuing with patience." Meimei smiled. "If anything, I hope we made gentleness fashionable again." The audience chuckled, but behind that lightness was a truth the industry rarely hears, that in an era of spectacle, sincerity itself is rebellion. Their story is no longer told as a fairy tale, but as a restoration, the restoration of faith in love that grows slowly, heals quietly, and withstands scrutiny. Their greatest gift wasn't a perfect image. It was permission for others to love imperfectly, to forgive freely, to believe that even under the spotlight, something pure can survive. When people now speak of the night the world tilted toward softness, they don't mention the decor, or the speeches, or the dresses. They mention the small acts, a hand offered, a smile returned, a decision made quietly between two hearts that refused to perform. Long after the lights dimmed and the red carpet rolled away, what remained was not legend, but truth. Love isn't a show. It's work. It's choosing again and again to stay, not to be seen, but simply to be. And perhaps that is the most modern miracle of all.